Hi, I'm Dolly Baston. Welcome back to our 24th year of Dolly's World. And today I have a very special surprise for you. So if you hear little noises in the background, don't be surprised. With me is Terry Jones, founder of Arcadia Bird Sanctuary and Educational Center of Freehold. And it is the most marvelous place down here, and I can't wait for you to meet Terry. So come on, let's go. Hey Terry, how you doing?
Great, Dolly. How are you today?
Oh, that really broke me up. I mean, we knew it was going to happen. Oh, God, they're wonderful. They're just beautiful. I have had the most marvelous tour.
Well, they're characters, all right. We enjoy them all, every one of them.
How did you get started with this?
We started out with a parrot.
One bird.
One bird. My dad used to breed parakeets, and I've always liked parrots and parakeets. And we started out with one, and somehow it evolved. We get another one, and they call parakeets potato chips, or parrots potato chips. They say that you can't just have one.
You can't just have one. Yeah.
And we got to a point where we had, people would say, oh, you take birds? Okay, take my bird. And we ended up with 23 birds in our home, and it was too much. It was just too much. So there's a wonderful, wonderful foundation in Colorado called the Gabriel Foundation, and we went out and spoke with the director there, Dolly, who gave us some fantastic advice. We said either we stop taking birds or we move on and become a sanctuary. And she guided us along, and lo and behold, Arcadia Bird Sanctuary is here.
How long have you been here?
Well, we've been taking in birds over about 5 years. We got our 501c, which is our nonprofit status, it'll be 2 years in January. So,
how do you fund yourself?
Solely through donations. We made a decision when we became nonprofit. We could have gone two ways. We need to be state certified. We need to have a state permit. If we charge adoption fees, the state requires us to have a retailer's permit, and that just didn't sit right with me, being an adoption resource center and then having a retailer's permit. So what we decided to do was go the route of, we have a scientific holding permit, which allows us to do educational programs with our birds, but we do not have a fee schedule. We ask for a reasonable donation for a bird in a cage, but we don't even suggest what that is.
What do you do in the educational line?
We go to anyone who wants to hear us.
You're available for everything.
We are.
Yes.
We really are.
Yes.
We've gone to libraries, to nursing homes. I'm very proud that we have, in conjunction with the American Federation of Agriculture, Arcadia Bird Sanctuary developed a really wonderful program for Girl Scouts. We developed a Girl Scout patch that we have. In fact, I'll show you one of those. But that we're very proud of. So we have a Girl Scout program. We've gone to preschools. My granddaughter, who's 7, gave her first presentation when she was 3 1/2 to her preschool class. And she's been doing presentations ever since.
Yeah,
Norty is so noisy.
That's Norty, right?
That's Norty.
Mr. Norty.
Yeah, Mr. Norty likes to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
No, you can't go bye-bye yet.
Are you a good boy?
He's a scene stealer. You gotta watch. You know what they say about animals.
Don't work with birds either. I know. I did a show with mine on my shoulder. I'm well aware of it. And in fact, it's funny because people don't even think about owning birds until I think they get their first one. And that's what happened with us. I did a bird show. Dave and I did one years ago at a pet shop. And I fell in love with a cockatiel. And I decided to buy him for my husband for Christmas. And I did. And his name was Freddie the Freeloader. And he did die 9 years later, but we had the most marvelous experience with him. So we have gone on, and now we have a gen day.
Yeah. Cockatiels, a lot of people think they need to start out with big birds.
They don't.
They see cockatoos, which are beautiful birds. They see something like a princess, and they say, oh, what a beautiful bird. They see a macaw, and they want to start out big. It's such a mistake to do that.
It is. I am so glad that we started out with a cockatiel, because that's where you really learn.
Yeah.
And
they're fun, aren't they?
And they're fun. And he whistled Bridge on the River Kwai, which my son taught him. And he was just so funny. I will always miss him.
Yeah.
But, you know, we love Paulie now. And he's a handful. And it's like living with a 2-year-old.
Yes, it is. Kind of one of the things you need to think about is when you're making the decision to get a bird or not, is can you live with a 2-year-old forever?
Yes.
Can you? And you can't just say, oh yeah, but if it doesn't behave, I'll stick it in a cage, because it's like locking a kid in a room. You really need to work with your bird, have fun with your bird.
Yes.
And you need to have patience, because you have a 2-year-old forever. In fact, it's funny when we go to...
It's scary when you say that. I actually think, though, as I remember and can recall my own kids, I think I have more fun with Paulie.
That's because you can put him in a cage.
Exactly. You've got it. You've got it. Tell me a little something about some of the birds that you have rescued, because they have such unbelievable stories, and they're sad stories, and they're also stories of something which just makes me crazy, and that's neglect and abuse.
Yes, birds come to us always. A lot of them come to us for medical reasons. People have allergies. People have illnesses that don't allow them to keep their birds any longer. Angel came to us because her original owner was killed in the attack on the World Trade Center. And she went first to the person who groomed her, and the woman's husband said, get this screaming bird out of my house.
I know, they do scream.
These guys scream. They're how beautiful you are. And then she went to a guy who was a baker, who left at 4 o'clock in the morning, and his landlord said, get that screaming bird out of your house. So she came to us, and she does scream, but I think being in a flock with the other cockatoos, she really doesn't scream inappropriately anymore. You know, she always screamed, but she's not inappropriate anymore.
Well, she must have grieved, and you were talking about grieving birds, that they have their own way of...
They do. We have Alfie, who is unfortunately now at the vet's office. He's not feeling too well. But Alfie was a wild-caught bird, imported. He lived with this one woman for over 20 years. So he had to be close to 30 by the time we got him. She passed away suddenly, and Alfie really and truly grieved for almost a year. He just hung out in his cage, didn't do anything, and then one day I opened the cage door to feed him, and he came in, the little head poked out, and I'm like, you want to be petted? And he just wanted to be scratched, and he really turned around. But it was in his own time, and he really did grieve.
And he trusted you.
He did, but it took a while. It took a while.
Well, they are not like a dog or a cat. They decide who they want.
Exactly. And in their own time.
And in their own time and in their own way.
Exactly. One of the biggest mistakes people make with birds is forcing the birds to be, I guess, like a child or a surrogate child.
Right.
They're not. They're birds. The thing that distinguishes us from rescue and adoption is that we don't need to move birds on. Birds can stay here as long as they need to stay here, or forever. We keep our birds a minimum of 6 months. They're all vet checked, microchipped before they go out, but we really get to know our birds. We really get to know our birds before we move them on.
What's that silly little noise he keeps making?
It's the sound that her water bottle makes as she drinks. It's like that little gurgle that the water bottle makes.
It's funny.
Yeah. I know, you're so silly. You're just so silly.
The one over there is screaming, give me a kiss.
And Princess just sits and looks pretty.
Well, I told you before, I bought a jacket, and she will look so gorgeous on my shoulder. You find her missing when we leave, you know where she is.
Yeah.
So what about some of the other birds? I know There was one you talked about in the newspaper article I read that was left in a dark cellar. That
Yes.
just sounds to me so gruesome.
That's Oscar. Oscar is well, Princess is a female eclectus. Oscar is green with a candy corn beak, and he is a male eclectus. The person that originally had him just didn't want to deal with him anymore. So rather than give him up, he put him in the basement and went in there. By his own admission, he said he checked on him twice a week. And at one point, Oscar had got hung up in a rope toy and hung upside down for at least 3 days before he was checked. He lost a couple of toes. And needless to say, Oscar has some serious trust issues.
Yes.
He still does.
Yes,
We've had
I'm
him for
sure.
almost 3 years. My husband calls him the lunger.
Oh, my
He just will go, he'll lunge right for you. But that, yeah, Oscar, that's a sad story. I have another bird that we keep in the house. It's really separate. Her name is Duck. She was 18 months old when we got her. She's an African gray, and she's the product of divorce, and this is really upsetting. But whenever the couple had an argument, the woman would go over and beat the cage, just beat this bird's cage, and it was a baby bird. And Duck is so phobic. She has no feathers at all. We've had her for over a year now. She has no feathers at all. She's just starting to get a down back, but she's broken her breastbone 3 times, flinging herself across the cage in terror. So we're working with her. We hope that we can settle her down. We really do. We have to start thinking about quality of life for her.
Right.
Her stress levels. We have her blood tested every 6 months to check the stress levels and everything. But that's, I mean, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse
or
for
the
that
one,
at all.
or the one you wrote about who only got water once a day and regurgitated it.
Yeah, well, that was Nordy, actually.
Oh, Nordy over there.
Nordy, yeah, good old Nordy.
Yeah.
He pulled through. But
He certainly did.
his owner was very neat. And so she would have his food in for like 15, 20 minutes a day and take the food and the water out, and the next day would replace it. So what he had learned to do was to like regurgitate like a cow, and he would eat, you know, he regurgitated food. And it took us almost 6, 7 months of him understanding that the food was always going to be there before he stopped. He doesn't do it at all anymore. Right? Nordy pulled through? Did he pull through? Good. Yeah, Nordy's he's a real survivor. He's a funny bird. We have a lot of fun with Nordy.
So what else do you have to tell us about them? Now, you were talking about the cockatoos, that actually they're not a good bird to have if you are subject to a lot of allergies.
They're not a good bird to have in a lot of ways. They're very noisy. The #1 bird that goes into rescue and rehoming is the cockatoo. As male umbrella cockatoos, actually, because I think umbrella cockatoos are probably the most common. Males get very hormonal. They get very nasty when they get hormonal.
Well, since when is that?
I know. Isn't that the truth? That is the truth. Yeah, they get, they'll love you and cuddle you 1 minute, and the next minute they're just biting your arm off. They're also very, very dusty, and I don't know if we can see too well. Let me see, Angel.
Yeah,
give
you
me
were
some
showing
dust
us
here?
that they give off like a
They
dust.
give off a
Is it
powder.
dander or is it a dust?
It's a dander, but it coats everything. In fact, you can't really keep a macaw and a cockatoo in the same room because macaws suffer from a respiratory infection that they get from cockatoos. So if it's going to affect another bird with that tiny little lung, they can imagine a lot of people have to give up their birds because of the dander. And all birds have it, but cockatoos really have the most.
Yeah, I can see it on Polly occasionally. I mean, dogs and cats have it also.
Yes.
But you know, you can stick them in a tub if you have to, and kind of get rid of it. Do they take baths often? I mean, this must be, I would love to see bath day in those cages in that aviary.
They get sprayed. Some of the guys like baths, some of them don't, but they all get sprayed. It keeps their feathers in good condition. They all preen. I think Princess has been preening now. What they do is there's a gland at the base of every feather, and they just they take their beak and they just rub that oil down each feather.
Is that what they do when they spread their tail out?
Yes.
And you see them go all the way down?
Yes, they're just taking that little drop of oil from that gland and just
for Pete's sake! I never knew. No, it's wonderful, and that keeps the feathers in good shape. In other words,
keeps them healthy. Yeah, makes them waterproof. Most birds are waterproof.
Yeah. I can see it roll off. Yeah.
You are. She's just a real character.
Well, can you get her to talk?
She doesn't talk too much.
No?
The females, unlike the human species, the females are not the talkers in the bird world. The males are. Nordy's a male. Angel and Princess are both females. What? She'll make noise. Turn around. Will you do Pretty Bird? Come here. Step up. Come here. Step up.
Nordy has a mind of his own today.
Yes. Come here. Turn around. Will you do Pretty Bird for me? Come here. Do Pretty Bird.
Do they bite much?
They don't bite much, but when they bite, you sure do notice it.
Oh yeah. That is a powerful beak.
I'm very, as much as I know them all, I know which ones bite, and I'm very cautious around all the birds because I've been bitten by the best of them. In fact, I had a male umbrella. I'm sorry, this is a Moluccan cockatoo, and I had a male Moluccan put me in the emergency room. I was in for over 3.5 hours.
Really?
He just tore me apart. Yeah, it was an unprovoked attack. And I just had no clue it was coming. He just jumped off a perch and just ripped me apart. So you have to be, even if you know the bird, you have to really be careful.
There's that little bit of wildness that's still in them.
Well, birds are not domestic. They're tame. There's a difference. Domestic means that they've been bred for generations to suit man's purpose. Any one of these birds, you can go into the wild and find them exactly like this. You can go to, these guys are from the South Pacific, actually both of these, and you can go out into the South Pacific. You can go to Australia and see flocks of either one of these cockatoos, just like this. You can go to the Pacific Islands and see. You can go to Australia and see the cockatiels. Now cockatiels, they've done a lot of mutations on, but parakeets, a little green parakeet, you go out into the wild and that's what they look like. It's really neat.
You've been there.
I have been. My sister-in-law lives in Australia. I've been 5 times.
Oh, that must be marvelous.
It is. It really is. Well, this is Nordy.
Hey, Nord. Yes.
He's
is
a
that
character.
his bow? Does he bow?
That is his. Please pay attention to me.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Are you a good boy? You're a good boy? Are you a good boy? Give me a kiss? Yeah. Can I give you a kiss? Yeah. Hey, kiss. Don't turn your back on the camera. Look at this. You ever get the feeling, Dave, no one likes you over there? Yes.
You're
What?
a good boy, Nordy.
You're a good boy?
Angel.
You a good boy? It is annoying you that you've got a fight going here? Yes. Are you a good boy?
Who's a good boy?
Could I pet you? I want to be careful. Yes. You good boy. Yes, you are. Oh, I know how to scratch. I know where to scratch. I know where it's
you found
good.
the spot.
I found the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Now you know why this is the #1 bird that comes into rehoming.
Yes. Yes. Oh, he is wonderful. Yes. Oh,
Who wants a kiss?
You let me scratch your pets? Yes. Yeah.
Good boys get kisses. Are you a good boy?
Are you a good boy? Oh, he's... Yes. Oh, and you've been left alone over there, and you're beginning to get a little uptight about it. Oh, and you want to scratch under here? Oh, okay. I got it. I got the whole thing. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Now they're molting right now.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Their feathers aren't in the best condition because they're all molting out.
I don't know.
Whatever it is, he meant it.
And that goes for your cat, too, right? Yes. Yes, you're silly. Oh, my.
Welcome to the noisy room.
Well, hi, guys.
These are all the guys who have been vet checked, and we work with them on a regular basis. So this is our regular aviary.
Oh, they are gorgeous. So just mention quickly what they are as Dave gets a hold of the pictures.
This is Simon. Simon's a lilac crowned Amazon. And this is a cockatiel. Yes. This is Geisa. Geisa's a blue-headed Pyonis.
And this is?
These are Amazons. This is Chica. This is Roscoe. It's a double yellowhead.
Roscoe is very noisy.
He's very noisy. He is very noisy, but he's noisy in a very melodic way.
Yes, yes.
He is.
Actually, you know what he sounds like? A postmenopausal woman trying to sing.
Well, unfortunately, I just sing to the birds a lot, and they all have terrible voices. Now, I'm not going to say where they get that from.
All right, I take it back. I take everything I said back. All right,
This is our famous Oscar.
Oh, this is Oscar.
This is Oscar, yeah. I don't know if sometimes Oscar will come out. Come out. See everybody a little bit better?
Oh, he's a gorgeous creature.
No.
No.
Okay.
No, Oscar.
He's due for a beak trim. We let the vet do that, so that'll be taken care of next week.
How often are you supposed to have their beaks trimmed?
Really, it just depends upon how fast they grow.
Oh.
Some birds will take care of all the birds you'll see have cement perches,
Right.
and a lot of birds will take care of it by chewing wood or on the cement.
Right.
Yeah, these two white cages are Amazons. They kind of like hanging out up in the corner.
Yeah.
And these are spectacled. They're small Amazons. These are two cockatiels.
I love the cockatiel though.
Yeah.
They're sweet.
Now, we don't know how old Charlie is, but Charlie was bought in Woolworths. So Charlie's an old guy, and this is Scruffy. She's even older than Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie, you're getting a little shaggy on top. But then again, I should talk, right, Charlie?
Aww.
Oh, there we go.
This is a white-eyed conure.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a relative of yours at home. Yes. Are they gentle?
She's not. She's not a friendly little critter. We're fostering her.
Oh, you're fostering her. Well, that might be the reason, too.
Yeah, she likes her mom. She misses her mom.
Her mommy.
And we call him Noisy. This guy, this is an angel conure. He was found on somebody's porch. He flew in on somebody's porch. Well, welcome to our quarantine room. So all these birds need to be checked by the vet. And once they are, then they'll be integrated into the regular aviary, or we're getting a new trailer next week, which I'm excited about. So we'll set them up.
That's great.
Yeah.
But that's so difficult to do. You have to wait for a good-sized donation before you can buy something as big as a trailer.
We do. The trailer costs $2,000, and then the electricity and everything for getting it hooked up is different. But we've been fortunate this year. We do have the money for the trailer.
Oh, that's great.
So we're looking forward to getting that.
And that's Louie.
This is Louie, yes. Louie already has a family waiting for him as soon as he's released from quarantine. Even though he's noisy, they love him.
How many do you adopt out? I know it's not your main thrust, but do you get a chance to adopt many out?
We do. We adopt maybe 4 or 6 a year. Like I said, we take our time. We don't rush them. We really get to know the birds well before we adopt them out. We've had Louie for quite a while because our vet comes once every 6 months. So a bird can stay in quarantine for 5 or 6 months.
Oh, I see.
So we've had him for quite a while. This is Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy.
Now, you said they originally had been a married pair, so to speak.
They were originally married, yes, but we decided to separate them when we realized that Mindy was not taking her own feathers off the top of her head.
Oh.
So one of the things breeders often do is to pluck each other, and you can see his feathers are just starting to come back. Mark isn't the friendliest little guy.
I wouldn't want to be on the wrong end of that beak, I'll tell you.
But
But he's a glorious creature.
if you hold it by the end. He will take that. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes. He said, oh, this lady knows how to feed birds. Do you know what I love? I love the way they use their toes. The fingers. I can watch them eat by the hour.
It's
There's
amazing,
something
isn't it?
so amazing about it. Yes.
Sometimes as you watch them, you can't believe they don't have hands. They're
They
so
look like they
dexterous.
should have hands because of that, yes. Well, you're a silly boy. Yes, you are.
Hey, Mark.
Yes, you are.
This is Henry. We're babysitting for Henry, too.
Henry's being baby.
Yeah.
He's exquisite.
He is. He really is.
Don't you wonder at nature that they have this coloring? It is so unreal.
Yeah, he's a green-winged macaw.
And is he yours or is he you baby?
No, we're taking care of him. Hopefully he'll be able to go home. We're hoping next month. His owner's going through a divorce and resituating herself. And rather than have somebody have to give up their bird, I would rather keep the bird here for 6 months, however long it might take.
Right.
So they settle themselves.
Terry, listen, it has been so much fun. I have had such a ball. I've had more fun than I've had in a long time. This has been the highlight of my summer to be down here with the birds. Thank you for your time. I just wish you all the best luck in the world.
Well, thank you. It was such a pleasure to host you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
To all of you out there, welcome back to our season. I hope you had a good time today. Remember, there are so many creatures in the world that really need our help sometimes, and especially the caretakers that take care of them. I'll see you all next month. In the meantime, take care.
Oh,